cattail. Huh, maybe I'll bring that home. Plant it in the waterway. Welcome back to Sun Raw Artist Homestead. Today I'm out in the garden in the sunshine. I'm going to be doing a little bit of fruit tree pruning. It's going to show you kind of what I'm up to. Also, some of my trees didn't lose hardly any of their leaves in the autumn, so I'm going to speak about some reasons for that, as well as we're going to go check out the seed starting house, show you what is up and growing already, and we're also going to take some rosemary clones, so stick around. Got 2 cherry trees here, and these will be their 3rd year coming up here, so 2 years growing. We have a Skeena, self-fertile, and it'll pollinate this Rainier blush cherry here. Here's my nice big row of blueberry bushes. Planted a bunch of tulips and daffodils in here. Has straw mulch and wood chip mulch. Under that there was a bit of just some green layer, chop and drop kind of mulch. So I have 2 apple trees here, a Fuji and a Honeycrisp. It's better to train the branches than cut a lot, is what I'm reading, is the direction I want to go. And I'm not going to be doing any head cutting basically. That's just like tip cutting. Branches become a lot more stiff for one. And so you want the fruit load to just kind of pull down the branch. And then also it's quite dangerous, having a sharp end there. And so we will wait till later spring to actually train some of these more, because more sap will be flowing, so they'll be, more bendable. And both of these apples have held almost all of their leaves throughout the whole winter so far. I mean, even just shaking the whole tree, they actually don't even fall off still. This is happening from a few different reasons, but it primarily just comes down to geological engineering. So it's the dropping temperatures in the autumn that cause the leaves to slow the manufacture of chlorophyll. That exposes other colors of pigment like reds and golds. And at that point, the branches also begin to develop their abscission cells. So these are cells that scissor off the dying leaves and seal up the stem attachments. So the first thing is that, with all the sporadic weather that is created, if we have like an early or sudden cold snap, it can kill the leaves immediately. And so this prevents the development of abscission tissue. Same thing with prolonged heat waves like we experienced last autumn. If the temperatures stay really warm well into autumn, the tree just doesn't really know to start making abscission cells before winter hits. So besides the whole manufacturing of drastic weather patterns having a large effect, the accumulation of metals, primarily aluminum, but also other known substances such as barium, cadmium, nickel, yellow fungal mycotoxins, radioactive therium, building up in the environment or being sprayed every day. There's lots of studies that show high toxicity amounts of aluminum in the soil, and this really affects mineral and nutrient uptake, water uptake, leaf gas exchange, chlorophyll production, root development, and more. And this is also falling on the leaves and all plants. All that being said, it's just more of the reason that we really need to focus on organism-rich soil building. So building healthy live soil full of microorganisms and beneficial fungi is going to provide a bit of shielding, so your plants and trees can actually access nutrients and minerals and get adequate water uptake. We're gonna be okay. We got this other fruit forest area here. So this is my Asian pear here, and the structure of her is a little bit maybe kind of messy now. I did top her. In general, pears do like to grow with a central lead. And this is the king apple here. And you can see all the leaves on her still. There's quite a few suckers popping up here. been like this for all of last year as well. And it seems like she's starting to work her way back up. But I will wait till later spring to try and pull her back that way a little bit. Quite an arc here. Clean out chimney area, as it's known, just about the width of your hand around the trunk. In this case, there's 2 trunks. So I'm gonna just come in and take off any small stuff. You know, if it's under 12 inches too, like this one here, I will take that out. So it's not really a branch. And then I'll leave 12 to 14 actual branches. Here's the Italian plum tree. And she still has some leaves on there, although they seem like they are coming off at this point. She lost about half her leaves, and then some have stayed on, so. Beautiful structure on this tree. Really love this tree. And just like a lot of my other trees, I'm tying the branches, pulling them down underneath. Take that. So I got about 4, 5, 6 real sturdy ones that want to become leads again. So I'm going to pull those over later on. Actually got to come in and loosen off all of these.
The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be.
And here's the Fire Bright Nectarine and Red Haven Peach. Both of these trees didn't have any problems with shedding their leaves in the late autumn. Just a couple more to do still. Got a pair that I probably won't be taking much off of. And we have 2 plums right here of black ice. I do need another pollinator for the black ice plum. This is an Opata plum, and she got quite damaged by the snow load last year. So it may take a couple years to kind of get her balanced back out again.
Gonna be okay. Before the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay.
So it's the next day, and I just caught my cat scratching my beautiful peach tree. Look at that. So I do have wire mesh fencing collars around all of my trees. Primarily why is because of my cat. I'm gonna go ahead and extend this protection up these side trunks. That should remind his little noggin, hopefully. And let's do a quick seedling tour up in my seedling house there. I'm also going to take some rosemary cuttings. All right, so my seedling house is starting to fill up pretty quick here. I do have a little more space up top there, some more lights. I can fit more in, but it is filling up pretty quick here. So here are all my onions here. We've got Red of Florence, Milano, Kelsey, and I like to grow my onions in tree plug flats. You can see the roots coming through right there. I like to bottom water all my plants for the most part. A bunch of Red of Florence here that were extras. I am going to do some sales at the farmer's market this year, so these clustered ones are for that. And another level of onions. These are Rosa di Inverno, and these are ready to be trimmed. They're pretty much touching the lights now. Try not to let them, touch the lights and burn. I've got 3 T5s on. I will put the 4th one on probably any day now. The tops I've already got 4 on, just because there's more space as well. So higher intensity light with a bit more space also gives them room to, really do their thing for a while, and then just be cutting them like once a week instead of so often if you have them really low. On here we have even more onions. We have Apache scallions. A bunch of these are going to go to the market. And finally found an open pollinated French heirloom shallot, Zebrune. Excited to keep this going, saving seed with this variety. Got some autumn giant leeks here. Also have a Welsh bunching onion, a perennial. So here we have some eggplant and peppers. A full tray of tango celery. Going to be pricking these out to make use of every plant. They take a long time to grow. Another tray of tango celery. Going to be doing some celery starts for the market. Got some Greek oregano. and some hyssop in the back. It's like a licorice mint kind of thing. Beautiful flower, perennial for bees and fragrance. Some coastal luto, tomatoes, and a bunch of other varieties back there for the market. Sweet paprika peppers, Corno di Toro type peppers there. A few others, I think. All these were some of the first tomatoes I started. These are primarily what I'm going to be growing here. These need to be transplanted out. Some more tomatoes here for the market. Evening primrose had really poor germination. Probably have 8 to 10 plants in that whole tray there. Summer pastel, yarrow. Got all the beautiful colors, red, orange, gold, and white there. I've been looking to get my hands on some of that seed for a couple of years now. And some beet seedlings I'm going to be pricking out, and some tomatillos. Have some last year's rosemary plants here. Probably take a few more slips off of these for clones for the market, and some peppermint. Also take some clones off of those guys. Do have a jar of all these slips from the larger plants inside my house here. And I'm going to be doing the clones right into the rock wool. It's because I'm most familiar with that. Show you how I do that process in a minute. Got some New Mex style Joy E. Parker hot peppers and some matchstick peppers that are just popping up. And in this vegetable crate here, I've got some sweet potatoes. Put them in here March 12th. Let's take a look at how they are doing. So I've just been keeping the soil moist, not overly drenched. Also have a heater here on a thermostat that is controlling the environment of the room, but I've placed it close to my tubers, so I'm using that set up for heat instead of a heat mat. So this is the first time I'm attempting to grow sweet potatoes. I've got 2 varieties in here, a purple white fleshed one and more of a yam one with the orange flesh. Yeah, got some roots starting. See the little white roots there? So from what I've researched, this is the preferred way of starting sweet potato slips in the soil, versus water. And some people will leave the tubers exposed like that. You may get slips without roots that form right away, and you need to break them off and put them in water and wait till they root. So it's kind of an extra step. But if you do just cover them a bit, this seems to be the preferred way. That way there is some medium there and you get root formation right with the slip emerging potentially. So hope that all works out. This is my first time growing sweet potatoes. All right, let's do some rosemary cuttings here. I'm going to be using rock wool for my cloning medium. I'm just the most familiar with this product, from hydroponic days. Okay, I need a few more, but estimation was pretty right on. These are going to be a few really nice ones. And there we are, 54 cubes I've got there. So I put a nice high-rise dome on. Place this where there's some bottom heat and some light. Try to keep it at 80 degrees. So I think I'm going to hold off on cloning the peppermint here. I don't really need to. I have a lot of spearmint on the property already. I can just dig up some clumps for the market, and I'll have the peppermint later on. Okay, going to be starting a whole nother round of seeds any day here now. Just waiting for the appropriate time according to the moon calendar. All right, thanks for watching. I appreciate the view. Remember, keep your heart inspired. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like the video and pass it along to a friend. Leave a comment, and